How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today I'm super excited because we're going to be taking a look at all the DVDs and Blu-rays I got for October of 2025. I have 11 things here, 10 of which are DVDs, sadly only one Blu-ray, but that Blu-ray is actually something pretty special, something that I saw a lot of people picking up at Walmart. It took my local Walmarts a while to get it, but when it finally got here I was super excited to pick it up. I also have some seasons of TV shows, a few 2-disc upgrades to stuff I really like, and as always, some really cool movies I was super thrilled to pick up. Now, before we go too far further, I do want to say one special thing about this video. This video marks the beginning of year 4 of doing this series, which is super crazy to think about that I've been doing it this long. The first one of these was in October of 2022, so 22, 23, 24, October of 2025, the beginning of a whole new chapter. Here's hoping year 4 is full of some really cool discoveries. I can't wait to see what I find. So all that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this haul. I'm going to show you guys everything I bought, but to do that, we have to switch to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle, taking a closer look at all the Blu-rays and DVDs I got for October of 2025. And let's start out with the Blu-rays. Now, I only have one Blu-ray item here, but it is 2 movies on 2 disc. And that would be the WNUF Halloween Special, plus its sort of like spiritual sequel from what I gather, the Out There Halloween Mega Tape. Now, Halloween just happened and I covered a few Halloween movies for that, and I saw people were finding this at their local Walmart, but I went to quite a few of them and I was not seeing it, and sadly, just like the day before Halloween, I think, I finally saw it at my local Walmart and I'm like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get this because like on Amazon, just the first movie is going for quite a lot, and this was both of them for 20 bucks, so like 10 bucks a movie, but this is going to have to be for next year's Halloween marathon. Flip it to the back and it talks a bit about each of the specials, and they're both like retro TV recordings. So you get this first one where the local station sends a guy out to investigate a haunted house, and then you get the second one which is like apparently these like 2 different like UFO documentaries. So they're both like found footage, but in that found footage style where we look like we're watching a broadcast. Sort of like Late Night with the Devil, but in a bit of a more campy tone. I know a bit about the first one, next to nothing about the second, but I really am looking forward to checking them out next year. Slide this off, and we get to see completely different artwork on the case itself. Sort of a TV guide tribute. And there's the back. Crack it open, and we get to see the 2 disc. The WNUF Halloween Special must be on this one, even though it's not labeled. And this is the Out There Halloween Mega Tape, and we can see that it's designed to, like, this is actually printing to look like a cracked DVD, and it says Halloween shows, but they scratched that out and wrote the actual name of the movie up there. And there's some artwork behind the disc. Let's slide that back in and move on to the next one. After that, another thing that I picked up brand new, all 3 seasons of the Chucky TV show. I was super glad to finally get this. I saw season 1 when it came out, but then season 2 and 3 just kind of aired at a bad time for me, and I'm like, oh man, I really need to catch up with this show. And here they have all 3 seasons on DVD in one pack. Couldn't really turn that down. Chucky was a really fun show. I feel like when the Child's Play movies started to be called the Chucky movies, they went from kind of episodic to suddenly having a more of a story that would carry over. So Chucky really did transfer into a TV show quite well. And I thought the show was pretty fun, but again, that being said, that's just from season 1. Under artwork is the same as the over. We crack it open and we get the disc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And if we take this out, we get to see all the episode listings and the special features. and clip that back on, and close it up. So yeah, super glad to finally pick this up. I really do need to do a Chucky marathon. Anyway, after that, if you guys are familiar with the channel, you know that during the summer I talk about shark movies, and my shark movie supply is quite low at this point. Luckily, I did pick up one new one. This is called Dangerous Animals. And I think the cover really does get, like, the point of the movie across. Apparently, it's this serial killer with a boat, and he kills people by putting them on this crane and lowering them into the water for the sharks to eat. Flip it to the back and we get to see a few characters. There's the boat, and if you look really close, you can see the girl on the crane. I remember this movie made a little bit of buzz, so I was looking forward to checking it out. There's a lot of lazy shark movies out there, and I find that if one puts in just a little bit of effort, it usually stands out a fair bit. So yeah, really looking forward to this one. Sliding it out, and we get to see the under artwork is the same as the over. Crack it open. And apparently this is a Shudder movie. Did not catch that at the beginning, but there's the ad, and there's the disc. In the past, Shudder made the movie Great White, so it's not their first shark movie, but yeah, looking forward to this one. After that, a movie that I do have a full review out for, it's a Halloween movie, and that is the movie Cobweb. Cobweb, you get this kid who's a bit of a social outcast, and he's being talked to by something inside of his walls, a female voice in the walls. This movie looks really cool, lots of nice old dark house with wallpaper and really good light streaming in, but it's one of those like slow burn movies that when it finally pops really does burst into insanity, and I really did like this one. If you want my full thoughts, again, I did a review on this one. There's the back, and you get to see his parents. Yeah, the parents are probably evil. You know they're up to something, but you don't know what. And I believe his father is a Homelander from The Boys. And cracking it open, we get a pretty standard text-based disc. Alright, let's move on to The Dark Tower. This one came out a bit ago and is one of those new movies that just took me a while to pick up. Basically, you get in this movie this kid named Jake, and he gets pulled into this other dimension where the gunslinger is chasing the man in black, and this is a Stephen King movie, and the original novels were like his longest running series, and they sort of connected the Stephen King multiverse. And I think that the movie on its own is okay enough, but it's one of those when you know anything about the books, you're like, wow, they really were not following it very closely at all, and the movie could have been a lot better. I think there's like, 8 books, and they wound up making one movie that's been largely forgotten. Kinda sad it didn't pan out. Flip it to the back, and we get to see Matthew McConaughey and Idris Elba there, and there's Jake, and they're walking through the world that has moved on. Fun fact with this one, I remember it came out the same year as the remake of it, and the whole internet was convinced that it would be just a lazy remake, but we finally had The Dark Tower coming to theaters. It's surely gonna be a big hit, right? Boy, was the internet wrong about that one. And there we have the shiny disc. After that, we have 2 seasons of a TV show I'm really thrilled to pick up, and that is the new Outer Limits TV series. I have season 2 and 3 here. The Outer Limits was a really cool, classic sci-fi and horror TV show. It was kind of like The Twilight Zone, and then when they brought it back, they put it on cable, so it had a little bit more of a budget, but it also had a lot less restrictions, and a lot of people really do like the new series better. I do plan on going and doing a deep dive of both of them, so it was really cool to pick up 2 and 3 while I had the chance. I found them in a used media shop. It's much cheaper getting them that way than online. I'll have to see how easy it is to find the other 5 seasons. But there's season 2 with the alien head. There's the back. It's a Canadian copy, so we do have to have the French down there. Slide it out. Crack it open. and we get to see the TVs with all the people. I think that's Mark Hamill there. And there's the episode list, and I do want to say, being the Canadian copy, it is funny to see how they translated the story titles, because not all of them are exactly the same. Like, Out of Body is Astral Voyage, Afterlife is Fatal Injection, and Mind Over Matter is The Force of the Spirit. Anyway, if we open this up, we get to see this sort of nightmare of a disc arrangement there. We get 3 DVDs stacked on top of each other. But anyway, I'll just take this one out to show you how they're in there. Basically, the bottoms have these 2 springs pushing up, and then you'll have a little grabber up at the top. So there's no actual clasp in the middle because they're stacked on top of each other that much. So you go in, you push down on the springs, and that should hopefully push you up into the grippers there. It is one of the weirder things I've seen as far as DVD holders go, but I mean, I guess you did get all 6 discs in a pretty thin space, but I slide that back in. And then we have Season 3 with a different alien on the cover. There's the description on the back. Slide it out. Here's this version of the TV screens. There's the episode list. You get to see it's slightly shorter, only 18 here. And we only have 5 discs this time around. Alright, moving into the final section of this haul. In this section I like to call semi-extraneous purchases. The movies in here I have some other edition of, but I've decided I wanted a different copy of it as well. Either I'm trying to break apart a multi-pack, or I had it on one format and wanted it on another. So let's take a look at some of these releases. First off, I have Hannibal, the sequel to The Silence of the Lambs. In this movie I had in a 2-pack with the first movie, but when I saw an individual release, but not only an individual release, a release that's a 2-disc special edition, I thought, you know what, that's worth the upgrade. This is actually in the clearance bin for only $2. I couldn't pass up on that. I love this cover with the subtle red and then his eye there. That's pretty cool. And this top band is actually like a foil. Really, really nice. Flip it to the back and we get to see Julianne Moore there and all the special features. And yeah, it looks really cool. Cracking it open, we can see the 2-disc, and part of the reason this probably went on clearance is this was a former Blockbuster copy. However, I kinda like the added benefit of these Blockbuster disc shields. This is basically a mostly transparent sticker that goes on the image side of the DVD and gives you a little extra protection from scratching. If you guys don't know, the data on the DVD is actually closer to the image side than the shiny side. So these actually might be a little bit helpful. We have disc 1, disc 2, and then we have this nice little booklet. Hannibal in his hat, a nice note from Ridley Scott, and the chapter selections, as well as explaining to you how much bigger widescreen is. Slide it back, close it up, and let's move on to the next one. The next one, yeah, again, kind of extraneous. I have a couple copies of this movie, but when I saw this, I had to pick it up. This is the special 2-disc edition of Saw 2 with a motion lingual slipcover. Look at that, it's got the X-ray, and when you turn it left and right, not only does it give it a 3D effect, but you can see the key appearing and disappearing inside the eye socket. Oh boy, that's cool. The back shows you all the special features, and yeah, being the 2-disc edition, we do get this whole extra disc here, including a short film from the director, and again, we have the widescreen alternate cut of this movie, so this is the unrated cut. Slide it out, and we get to see the non-motion lingual version of the artwork. Crack it open. There's disc 1 with the boiler, and disc 2 with the super famous Pit of Needles. Gee, talk about an all-time top 10 Saw trap there, gee. Moving right along, we have two more, and one that I decided to pick up was the DVD of Scream 3. I actually have the first 3 Scream movies on a Blu-ray multi-pack that doesn't have DVDs in it, and I do like to have dual formats for everything. And again, this was super cheap, so I decided to go ahead and grab it. Yeah, hard to believe I don't really have any of the Scream movies on DVD. I should really start to grab them up. We can see all the bonus materials here in this gold square, and a bit about the movie. Crack it open, there's the disc there, pretty standard. But yeah, first Scream movie I got on DVD. I have 1 through 5 on the Blu-rays. I still need to get part 6, but yeah, working on the collection there. And the last one, again, something I had in a multi-pack that I'm trying to break up right now, but I do really love the individual cover art for this series, and that is Bride of Chucky. Bride of Chucky is a really fun one. It's the one that turned the franchise from Child's Play into the Chucky franchise. We also got a second doll with the form of Tiffany here, Chucky's girlfriend. And yeah, the series did get a little wackier after this, but I have to say it did shake things up and provided new material to keep the movies going. Flip it to the back, we get to see Chucky and Tiffany. There's Jennifer Tilly doing some voodoo, the special features, and someone put this sticker on here that says 5. I don't know why they did that. This is actually only the 4th Child's Play movie. I don't know, but that is part of digging through used media shops, is finding random things like that. Crack it open, we get a shiny disc there, and then the insert. Mini poster, table of contents with Chucky and Tiffany and the knife there. And the back, we get a picture of Chucky, and I really do love this cool damaged design. And I think this is the first film that he actually has that. Really cool. Slide it back in, close it up, and that's it. So 11 things, including 2 seasons of Outer Limits and 3 seasons of Chucky, but we also got some Halloween movies, a shark movie, and a couple 2-disc upgrades. Overall, some pretty cool stuff here, and I'm super happy with this haul. Can't wait to see what next month has in store for me. Lots of stuff to keep looking for, including the rest of Outer Limits here. But yeah, can't wait to keep hunting. As I said earlier in the review, this actually marks the beginning of my 4th year documenting all this stuff. Here's hoping you guys are having fun. All that being said, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. Really are helping the channel out. If you guys want to see those first 3 years worth of content, there'll be a playlist on the bottom that has at least 36 videos in it. That is a lot more of this. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very soon. Playlist here. Have a good day now.